I am so excited to have Tammy Little with us today on the Profit by Design podcast. Tammy, I just adore you. It's just such a joy working with you, and you amaze me every time we meet. So let's just get started by sharing to our listeners who you are and what you do. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Um, so my name is Tammy Little, as Melissa said, and I am the owner of FTC Group and Summit Accounting Partners. We are a full service accounting firm providing um, essentially back office accounting services, whether that be bookkeeping, accounts payable, payroll processing, up to CFO and controller level services to small, medium, and large businesses. We're a virtual company. We all our services are virtual. So, we feel that this is a great way to work with everyone and opens up lots of opportunities to meet lots of new people. So that's what we do.
Tammy, you go so above and beyond for your clients and the things that you do for them just amaze me. And that's why I wanted to bring you on today to just share with everyone what to look for in an accountant. And the first thing I believe business owners struggle with is understanding the difference in all of the terms. So there's CFO and controller and bookkeeper and accountant. Can you just share, first off, what the difference is between all of those and what a business owner should be looking for?
Yeah, I think that's the struggle that a lot of people have as they're growing is, you know, do I just need a full service bookkeeper? And that would be someone that maybe you have low transaction levels and you just need someone to input your transactions, your vendor bills, your if you're billing, um, reaching out to your customers and making sure you're collecting on what you're billing, reconciling your bank accounts, things like that. Usually very simple, could be larger depending on the skill level of the person you're working with and your company. But that to me is what a bookkeeper is. As you get larger, you'll see many companies will expand to have one person that is doing all of their accounts payable and one person that maybe is doing all their billing and collections. And then when you get to those levels, you'll need a controller typically who is managing those people. And, your controller is going to be doing lots of different things from banking relationships, insurance relationships, um, oftentimes they're the liaison with your tax accountant, managing the day to day and processing and preparing your financial statements. So it's a higher level position. But in accounting, oftentimes with a business owner, they just don't know what they need because they are they're running their business. They're doing what they love and they don't, you say you don't know what you don't know. That's the issue, oftentimes with business owners. So we find.
Wow. I think of usually when I start working with business owners, many of them don't have someone to support them. They're doing their own books. And what I find is they leave money on the table
Yeah.
everywhere. Because if you're not an accountant, why, or a bookkeeper, why are you doing all of your own books?
Hmm.
It's a bit crazy. And oftentimes there's a couple of reasons why I see this. One is because they don't think they can afford it.
Hmm.
But most commonly, it's because they're a hot mess. And people will
Yes.
claim that all the time. They'll say, well, I don't have my receipts in order. I wouldn't even know how to give all of these things over. So speak to that person who is a hot mess and they're really embarrassed
Hmm.
or they feel like they don't have time to get their act together so that they can hand those things over.
And I think that's a lot of business owners are afraid of that. They're embarrassed of what they have not done and the position that they're in. But that's why you hire people to help you, just like you would hire an attorney or go see your banker or anyone else. This is what an accountant does. They take your mess and they make something out of it. And just like you love your business and what you do, this is what we love. So to us, it's not a hot mess because this is what we do. And I mean, we have a client that was behind many, many years and it just
Uh-huh.
landed in our lap. So you're having to clean up years and keep up with the day to day. And I mean, you'd be surprised how normal that is. There are many, many people out there running extremely large businesses in that same predicament, and they're either embarrassed or they just don't have time. And that's the biggest thing is you're building your business. You don't have time to deal with everything else. And it
Oh,
just gets worse and worse and worse.
okay. So two things are coming up for me. One is I never even thought about the fact that you love the hot mess. Like that is what you do.
Right.
And it just provides so much relief to me as I'm hearing you say, like, bring me your hot mess and I'm going to clean it up. That takes
Mhm.
so much off of my plate. And, really, as business owners, we hold back from handing those things over too because we think it's going to take us forever. Most business owners, as you know, are working 60, 80 hours a week.
Mhm.
They barely have time to get their inbox cleaned out. So, how in the world, when someone comes to you in this situation, how much time is it really going to take them to begin that engagement with you?
Usually not very long because the way that our firm has kind of jumped in to help people, we essentially just take over. And I know every firm is different, but this is what works for us because we begin to build the relationship with your payroll company, with your banker, with
Mm,
whomever we need to, so that your banker knows it's okay. We're approved to talk to, whomever. And we begin the collection process. You know what's
oh,
happening, but you can feel safe that the work is being done behind the scenes so that you can keep running your business. So once we have access, we're able to just jump in typically without a lot of interaction with the business owner. So we're able to collect data, go through data and prior information to get what we need. And then, weekly or however often the business owner would need, we'll have a meeting to update and go through what's been done, what else is needed. And so it's a step by step process so that you're not seeing that I have to get it all done right now. It's a
mm,
process. You didn't get this way overnight. It's not going to get corrected overnight, but at least you see the wheels turning. And that makes a difference oftentimes with business owners to feel some sort of relief that it's getting
mm.
done.
Okay, so you said two keywords that I'm hearing, and that's safety and relief.
Hmm.
And I know that you've heard clients say, I can finally sleep at night. So when they engage with you, two things are happening. Their nervous system is calming down
Hmm.
because they know you're taking care of things. And two, as they get this part off their plates, which this is not in their zone of genius. And
Hmm.
even if you do have enough experience to run your numbers, as a business owner, that's not something you should be spending your time doing.
Correct.
Spending your time reviewing the numbers with your service professional should be where you spend your time.
Correct.
Because what happens is you now free that time up while feeling safe and actually getting sleep at night. Now your time is freed up to actually grow your business.
Yeah.
And I think that the return on investment when working with you, not only are your profit levels going to increase, but your revenue is going to drastically increase because now you're working on the things that you should be working on as a business owner. So, my message to everyone listening is stop it. Just stop doing your own books. Um, jump right in. As you're hearing Tammy say, there's no excuse.
Mhm.
You need to
And
just get someone now.
I think eh, you really don't even realize what's happening in your business sometimes and where the money is. I
Mm.
mean, we've had people that aren't doing their billing because they don't have time. They're not collecting. They don't even know what's due to people or what's due to them because they don't have time. And money is just left on the table. And I think oftentimes you think, I can't afford an accountant. You can't afford not to have someone in your corner watching because we're behind the scenes. We're doing it all behind the scenes while you're out front, whatever service you're in. And I think that's what an accountant, depending on what your needs are, can do for you so that you can focus on what you're great at and let someone else do the heavy lifting.
Mm. Okay, you brought up a great point. Almost every time I coach a business owner and they say, I'm struggling, I'm not sure how I'm going to make my payroll this week or pay my bills. One of the first questions I ask is, how many outstanding invoices do you have? And almost every single time they say, oh, well, I haven't had time to bill.
Mhm,
And you would be astonished the amount, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars or more,
mhm,
is just sitting waiting to be billed, but the business owner just simply hasn't had time to do it.
mhm. We find oftentimes as well that, for example, if you're in construction,
Yes.
you're out in the field all day long. And then when you get back to your house or your office or whatever it is, everyone else has left that you need to be contacting to collect from. So it's also a timing thing where you're in the field maybe or you're out and about. You don't have time to be making those phone calls trying to collect or, you're exhausted at night trying to do your billing. It's it's just really, really difficult, and people don't realize the freedom they can feel by just having someone else help.
Yeah, and what I hear so much in the industry, such as construction, is business owners aren't sure where to put money. So they're receiving some upfront payment. And then typically what happens is they'll end up going through that bucket of money trying to make
Hmm.
payroll and buy things, and they're not sure how to allocate things. So one thing that I find fascinating about you, Tammy, is you create so many systems
Hmm.
that provide efficiency for business owners and really get them organized. Can you, and it's very much above and beyond what I see with most accountants. Because, so can you speak to that and what makes you unique?
I think the biggest thing that we do is I don't want to be considered just an accountant. I don't think anyone that works on our team wants to be looked at as, oh, that's our bookkeeper. And we hear that a lot, but, and not that there's anything wrong with, a bookkeeper, but we kind of embed ourselves with the clients and truly learn their business because it's not just accounting, it's operations as well. And you you need to know the client. You need to really understand them because there are efficiencies just in setting up systems that could affect the accounting and could affect the reporting. So we try to learn, what are your issues? Where do you struggle? And is that something that we can assist with? Because oftentimes business owners, this is my accountant. It's only numbers, it's only transactions. That's how most people see an accountant, but you can be and we try to be so much more because if we help them build their systems, it'll make our jobs easier as well. So maybe there are other things we can assist with. But it's just having that open communication with a
Mm.
client so that they know what you're capable of and are willing to help.
So you're partnering with business owners. You're actually a part of their team.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be to build
Mm.
that level of trust.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want someone just to, send me a packet on the 5th of the month and throw together some financials. I want to be involved with them as they grow, as they have issues, and when there's good times. You don't just disappear when things go bad because that's the evolution of business. So we try to be there and be a true partner and not just someone that you call at the end of the year or once a month to reconcile your bank account. It's a lot different.
I love this. And commonly, what comes up is business owners who think that they have to hire someone in person. And typically, what happens with that is they'll bring someone in to do the books, pay the bills, and make the deposits. And then to make it most effective for all these different roles that they need in the business, they pile other things on to this person inside the team. And it's really outside of their zone of genius.
Hmm.
And rarely does that work out. So I love the fact that you can work remotely and also be that partner. And I'm hearing that you're a higher level.
Hmm.
So I'm hearing a lot of coaching languaging that's happening. So you're looking at their systems and their operations, and you're really tying it together. And it's sounding like you're really performing a role that's on a leadership team level, and
Hmm.
you're going to come in non-emotionally. So a business owner isn't going to be afraid then, for example, if they have someone in house, of that person seeing everyone else's payroll. And there's so many confidentiality things that happen. And also, they know that you have their best interest. You're
Hmm.
not just working solely in their business, you are the expert. And how many years have you been doing this, Tammy?
I'll show my age, but over
That's
30
okay.
years.
30 years of experience and expertise. So you know exactly what works and what doesn't work. And I just love that. So tell us what a business owner should actually be looking for in an accounting firm.
First and foremost, I think just your comfort level with them. Do you
Mm,
feel comfortable when you sit with them and when you talk with them? Because they're going to have your business in their hands, and that's a lot. This is, as a business owner, this is your baby. This is what you have built, and you have to feel comfortable with that person. You can check references, which I would highly recommend, but still, you have to feel comfortable
mm,
with what they bring to the table. Um, I would always recommend looking at everything that they can provide and asking someone, here's what I think I need. What do you suggest? And seeing what their offerings are. Because if you need a CFO level assistance, periodically, we call it fractional, maybe someone that just got out of high school or college, that might not be the right person for you. So you've kind of got to know what you need as well and be aware of your revenue, how
mm,
many transactions you have. But I think the biggest thing is comfort and
mm,
just feeling at ease with the person that you're working with. And one thing that we try to do, oftentimes I've found that accountants speak in accountant, and the lingo or the jargon makes people feel uncomfortable and sometimes not intelligent because they just don't understand. And that's okay. That's why you hire someone. But you can't, again, it goes back to comfort. If you can't communicate with the accountant, that's not going to make you feel any better. And one of the things that we offer and like to do is I act as the liaison with the tax accountant because when you start speaking with tax accountants, that's a totally different level. And that usually just throws business owners for a loop because they don't understand. And so then they don't want to communicate.
Mm,
So I act as the person that can be that bridge between the business owner and the tax accountant at year end to get your taxes completed. And that tends to help out a lot as well. So to me, it's more about relationships and building a level of trust with your accountant.
wow. So, to everyone tuning in, how do you know that you're ready to move forward and get help? What are some of the symptoms that are happening in the business?
If um, if your tax preparation bill is astronomical, if you are paying your tax preparer to do bookkeeping, that's an issue. Um, if you have no idea who you owe and who owes you and what's in your bank account,
Mm.
if you can't make payroll, those are some key indicators that you have an issue and you probably need help.
One thing that I see the majority of the time is business owners not knowing what cash flow is going to be like in the next even month or two.
Mhm.
Is that something that you support with?
Yeah, we have clients that we do daily cash flow updates
Wow.
for. Um, there's good times, there's bad times.
Hmm.
So having the ability to do projections and cash flow planning, it often lets business owners, it's a wake-up call sometimes when you say, next week you're not going to make payroll. What can we do? But if you're out in the field or if you're, busy, you're not thinking about those things. You're trying to help your client and get your job done, and you're not thinking about the backside of it. And that's where having someone that's just kind of there watching, helping, that's a huge help, I think, to business owners because you just can't do it all. And I think that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes is asking for help. I'm just as guilty as everyone else.
Yeah, asking for help is so important. And really, I'm hearing you're taking so much stress off of the owner's plate because they're going to know where they stand and they're not guessing anymore.
Hmm.
So there's so much freedom in having your support. So, as we wrap up, Tammy, can you just share what is one gift? If you could give every business owner one gift, what would it be?
Um, I guess what we do is just the peace of mind. And I didn't really realize it until a client told us that because this is what we do. This is what we love. All of our clients are treated exactly the same. And I think our goal is they don't even know there are other clients because they
Oh,
are that well taken care of. And they forget that we work with other people. And to be told, you know, I sleep now. And
mm,
that's a huge, it blew me away to hear that because you don't realize the struggles that business owners go through. And so to have someone say, I sleep at night now,
wow.
that's I think that's a big, big thing for business owners is just to feel comfort. And I think that's a huge gift.
It is a huge gift. It's going to affect your entire life and your business.
Mhm.
So, Tammy, I know it's really hard to, but you typically have a waiting list for your services, and I'm sure that our listeners are just ready to jump on board with you. So, if someone wants to connect with you and learn more about the services that you provide, how would they do that?
You can go to trisummitaccounting.com And we have a contact us page, so you can fill out a questionnaire there. We're on Facebook, we're on LinkedIn, so you can pretty much find me anywhere.
Okay. And always feel free to reach out to me, Melissa, at tapthepotential.com. And I would be happy to connect you with Tammy via email. Tammy, thank you so much for being here today. As I said, you amaze me every day.
Thank you.
And, you're just an overall phenomenal human. So I enjoy working with you, and I just appreciate you for giving everyone the gift of um, clarity here today. What you've shared is invaluable. So thank you so much, and
All
thank you to
right. Thank you
everyone
for
tuning
having
in.
me. Bye.